hold on now.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it'll actually work. Good. At least that was quick. You were working.
You're senior, just heard you.
Excellent. Technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to teach you the whole concept. Most of the times when we're trying to tell people what we're doing here, right, and why we're here, what do you automatically go to? What's your initial response? Someone tells you, what do you do in WFG? What do you say? Everybody has an answer.
I want to
Come
bite the
on.
bullet. Normally you tell them about the products that you're dealing with,
Yeah.
and that's not the way you should do it.
Scott has been in my class so many times. He knows exactly where we're going with this. So it's very easy to say, okay, we sell insurance, we sell mutual funds, we teach people about financial concepts, and we do all of that stuff, right? But it's just uninspiring, right? You have to go back to the reason why we do what we do. What is the reason that our company exists, okay? And Simon Sinek is a motivational speaker who has some pretty interesting ideas. And one of his ideas is called the Golden Circle. And there are 3 layers. The outer circle is the what layer. The middle circle is the how layer. And the inner circle is the why layer. Okay? So he says, if you tell somebody what you do, but you don't differentiate yourself, because you're not going to the heart of the matter, right? If you start with why you do what you do, it completely changes the game. So here's an example. If you need to draw out your beliefs about money, okay? If I was to tell you my story of why I joined in this company, it would be because even though I was a pharmacist before making decent income, I wanted to have a family, and we do a lot of shift work at the hospital. Right? You know all about that. And I know that when I have kids, what something's going to give, right? So either I'm going to have to take all the really crappy shifts, because the first thing is, who's going to take care of your kids, okay? You're going to need to work full-time or part-time in order to maintain your lifestyle. So who's going to take care of the kids? So you're going to, give them to a nanny or a grandparent or, whoever, or daycare, right? And I know that nobody's going to love my kid more than I love my kid, right? As much as they're put in good programs and they get socialization and all that sort of stuff, if there are certain values that I want to pass on to my kid, nobody else is going to be responsible for doing that except for me and my husband, right? So, at the same time, we need income. We need to pay off our mortgage. We need to put food on the table, all that sort of stuff. And a lot of families, they need 2 incomes in order to survive in Vancouver. Would you agree? To buy a place and pay for transportation, all that sort of stuff. So a lot of my coworkers would take these night shifts, and the husband would work the day shift, and then they would swap so that they could take care of their kids. Right? And plus, daycare is so expensive too. If you're going to put your kid in daycare, your income is half gone just by putting them in daycare, and you might as well have stayed home and spent time with them anyway, right? And I didn't know that there was another alternative until my friend came along and showed me that she was making more income here on a part-time basis. I thought, wow, you can replace your income and have time? Now see, it came down to my basic belief that spending time with my kids was more important than working. But at the same time, I needed to make ends meet with my family, right? I needed to pay for food and have a shelter to live in, all that sort of stuff. And these are basic necessities, right? Other people have different philosophies about money. Some could be, I think everyone deserves a second chance. Some could be, I don't think people should be in debt, right? So what I'm throwing out there is, what are things that you really believe in that have to do with money? Throw those ideas out. Clara. No answer? Really? Okay. Moses.
What's your question?
The question is, what are some things you believe, what are some of your foundational beliefs that affect finances? I'll come back to you, okay? Priscilla. You still thinking?
Yes.
All right, Scott knows something.
Everyone has a right to know how it works.
Everyone has a right to know how it works. Do you guys agree? Sure. Does our school system teach us this stuff? No. Right? So, why shouldn't we learn all this stuff? The banks don't teach it to us. And why shouldn't we be able to give it to everybody else who wants it? Right? Fantastic. Anyone else? Mike.
Time, like you mentioned for you, to free up your time
Yeah.
so that you can be where you want to be
Right.
and be flexible with your time.
Yeah.
With your
Yeah. What other opportunities would give you the income you need and you'd have all the time you need, right? Most of the time it's you're making a lot of money but you work a lot and you never have time with your family. Or you have a lot of time but you don't have any money because you're not doing anything with your time, right? And here's an opportunity that allows you to have both. Okay. What else? Hansel.
I believe that people don't have to be stuck at a job that they don't want to be in order to make ends meet.
You believe that people don't have to be stuck at a job that they don't want to be in. Now, why are most people stuck at jobs?
They have to pay bills.
Stability, security. Okay, what else?
They've been taught that way.
They've been taught that way. For some reason, like our society has brainwashed us that, you have to have a certain level of education in order to be successful. And if you ever wanted to change your career, you'd have to go back and completely redo your education. Right? But the business people know that if you just got a good idea, you'll find a way to make it work. Any other beliefs? See, we have to rewire our thinking a little bit. And I didn't start off this way when I first came into the company. I started off like every other person who grew up in this country, right? Went to school, thought I had to like go through all this education to get a good job in order to have good pay, and then I don't know what to do with my money after that. Everybody's like that. But things can be different, right? And then we come along with this opportunity that's so unique, and we're telling people that you have a second chance. You don't have to have prior education in order to come in and be successful here. And then people look at us and they're all skeptical. Right? Because we have a basic belief that a lot of these things are teachable. People can learn these things, right? And if you can learn these things, you can do these things. These are things that we believe, right? What else? What are some basic beliefs about finances?
I think a lot of people can't even get beyond the word finances, even spelling it. What I mean by that is they're so busy working and then trying to get a little bit of life in, there's nothing left to even think about the future. So as far as even thinking beyond, knowing how to get beyond a paycheck to paycheck life, so that paycheck to paycheck life that a lot of people ascribe to. And there are options out
Justin,
there.
can you get me some more paper, please? Right there. There are a lot of people out there,
But there isn't anybody, but people are getting advice from the people that are
just like
in
them.
the same position they're in, right? Nobody knows about taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You think we should know all these things. After I joined in this
I don't think we have a shot
company,
at knowing these things because
Yeah.
the system doesn't.
the system doesn't incorporate this type of education in there, right? And I've been wondering why that is the case. I mean, like, it's a great business opportunity for us, right? There is something that's missing and lacking, and so we're going to come in and fill it. But I've been wondering why, and it is because this country operates on taxes, and it operates off the backs of employees. And so you got to get the majority of your citizens in that employee position so that they can pay the country's taxes to make
We're
the
all
company.
one bucket, nobody but that.
Yes.
There'll be nothing going into
Well,
the
business owners pay
taxes.
taxes too, right? But anyways, it's a different type of thinking. It really is. So now when you come down to why. So if you can articulate the reason why you joined and make it like a really key component of your life, and then when you communicate to other people, what you're trying to do is find people who believe in the same things you believe. Not everybody will believe in what you believe, and that's okay, right? Just because they don't doesn't make your beliefs any less valid, but you have to understand that when you're trying to recruit someone into this company, they have to believe in the same things you believe or want the same things that this company can offer them before they'll be interested in joining. There are a lot of people who need what we have, but the goal is not to get people who need what you have to buy your products. The goal is to find people who believe what you believe. Okay. Simon Sinek, in his video, he talked about how there was the Wright brothers who discovered flight. So they would, put together this airplane, and at the same time, during that day, it was like the most important invention, right? But they were some nobodies out in a farmland, and then there's this one guy, Samuel, what's his name? Pierpont Langley, I think. Samuel Pierpont Langley. He was a scientist of the day and had all this funding from the government and stuff, but he didn't come from a place where, he believed that this would change mankind and how they would live. Like, he just wanted to be famous. He wanted to be first in order to discover this thing. And the Wright brothers just had this basic belief that this is going to be amazing and change everybody in the way they live and stuff. And so they had this little team of people that worked out of their bicycle shop, and every day when they would go out, they would bring 5 sets of parts with them, because that's how many times they would crash before they came back for supper, right? And Simon Sinek would say, see, when you hire people with your money, they only work for your money, right? But when you hire people who believe in what you believe, it doesn't matter how much you're paying them, they'll work for you with their blood, sweat, and tears, right? And I'm not saying that we're trying to find cheap labor here. We're just trying to find people who believe in what we believe, because when you're all on the same page, some wonderful things happen. This is a company that has a mission of no family left behind. We believe everybody deserves to know this information. Whether you're low income or high income, you still deserve to know this. And especially if you're low income or middle income, you deserve a chance to get ahead, because most people live paycheck to paycheck, just doing what they're doing, right? And they're caught in this vicious cycle of taxes and earning just enough to make ends meet, and they have nothing left over to save, but then they've used up all their time to work, and so they're just in this rat race. And then we come in and we want to change the way everything is operated. We want to give people a chance to create more time, a chance to create passive income. That was really attractive to me, although I didn't really know much about the passive income side when I first came in. All I knew was I can come in and make my own schedule. So that enough seemed attractive to me. If I can create my own schedule and I can say when I'm working, when I'm not working, then I can decide if I'm going to take my kid to school or take that day off and go on their field trips or whatever, right? That was my thinking. And if I work hard, I make more money. Whereas when I was a pharmacist, if I worked hard, I made the same amount of money as if I didn't work hard, right? As long as I just showed up for 8 hours, right? Except if you work OT or something like that. But then again, you're putting your extra time in. Right? Hopefully this gives you guys some ideas of how you share about the company and why you're in this company. Does that help a bit? Yeah, I don't want to be the only one talking. Okay. I would love it. Like every class that I teach in class 1, I bring up 2 people to talk about their whys. Because I want to train you by the time you get to 3-3-30 that you're proficient to explain the reason why you're in WFG. And if you feel like you still need more practice, well, come and talk to me or come and talk to one of your senior directors and we can, rehearse it, okay? So today's topic is about building a prospect list. And I think some of you guys have been building prospect lists for a while now, right? How many of you guys have done your top 100 list? How many of you done your top 25 list?
I haven't actually handed it in though.
Sorry, you
I
haven't yet?
haven't actually handed it in, but I've got the names on it. I just
Okay,
gotta
you've
do
got the names on it. Okay, great. How many people don't have 25 names on their list? You haven't started yet?
What do you think?
Oh, okay. Because you're building your market?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. This is a process that is ongoing. The people who have a lot of names to start with, it's a little easier for you. And people who have less names, just means you have to work harder in order to get to know more people, right? Sometimes, though, it may not be that you actually know that person. It could be the cashier you see at Safeway every time you go and buy groceries, right? Then you write down the cashier I used to see at Safeway or whatever.